lived.
Man. Welcome to another episode of The Other Side of Vegas. I am Roy Evans.
Bruno Brown.
And first off, I want to start out by apologizing for the last episode we did with my man Carlos Sanchez.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Nah, that was completely my fault.
Oh yeah, that part was my fault.
That was all on me. Regardless of why.
I'll take a little blame.
Regardless of why, I'm going to take that. I'm going to eat that, and because not only did I have certain things planned as far as changing how things go and all that, but I just was thoroughly distracted. I wasn't here.
And I wasn't picking up on it.
I wasn't here.
But to not to dwell on it too much. Big up to Carlos for fucking running with that shit.
You know what?
Carlos literally talked more than I've ever heard.
It almost made it worse.
Because you wish you could get chopped up?
Yeah, man. It was, I mean, it had all the potential of being a great interview, and I screwed the pooch on that one. And matter of fact, somebody chimed in on the actual thread. They didn't even hit me on the, like...
They say, sorry,
on the inbox.
Great podcast, but I can't be there?
Nah, dude went in. Like he really went in. But I can't think of his name right now. Johnny something. But regardless to how harsh it may have been, it was true. So I'm gonna eat that.
Looking like this, you don't even have your shirt off.
Yeah, there's that. So at some point I'm gonna try to make up for that and get Carlos back.
Because it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a wealth of knowledge there that I missed out on, and I missed out on the opportunity of sharing that with everybody. So I'm gonna have to beg for a do-over and get that fixed, because that was a wealth of knowledge.
He brought up shit that I forgot about, because we talked as well. We were here about the same time. We got here about the same time. And there was some stuff that he was bringing up that I had forgot about, which was cool.
Yeah.
So do-over.
Absolutely. And speaking of Carlos, last night, one of the dudes that did something really iconic with Carlos, Brian Minogue, played at Nacho House.
Wow.
And don't get me wrong, it's always great to see Brian. But goddamn, last night, holy shit.
Was it popping?
Oh, he laid it down.
He does. That's what he does.
He laid it down, and it's one of those things where it's just I love seeing cats that I know like shine and just really.
I hate that I missed that one. I was old manning last night.
Yeah,
it happens.
So we're gonna get some other business out of the way with what's coming up, and all things house music related and in Vegas. Tomorrow we have. Matter of fact, while I talk over it. Okay, I didn't do that right.
It happens from time to time. We do make mistakes.
You know what? It really does, man. It really does.
The difference is that we'll call each other on them and try to fix them. We won't live in a fantasy.
It just doesn't work for everybody.
No, it does not. Trust me on that one. Good grief, man.
Some people try to force it. Try to make it work. Good luck with that.
Well, it all comes out in the wash at the end of the day. I was thinking after I think I'm gonna have to hit up Subtle Jewel.
You should, man.
Well, because he's been asking me. Well, we're going with that. I was just trying to fill some dead air.
I appreciate that.
Continue.
Tomorrow, we've got Techno Taco Tuesday with Jean-Pierre. I should probably brighten up my screen, being I'm an old man. With Soto and Rob Fernandez and Asymmetric. Asymmetric is Josh, really cool dude. I don't know if you know Josh, but Soto and Rob, really cool dudes, and they lay it down too.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you got that T3 tomorrow. I hit Raphael about who's playing tomorrow. He's like, oh, I think it's you and something like, huh?
gotta be honest. I get hit up. I don't know about these gigs that they're allowed to. I get told last minute.
Yeah.
About those two.
But Wednesday, Unfiltered Soul, Rob Alon, Doug W. at Downtown Cocktail Room. Also Wednesday, you have Wrecking Crew Wednesdays.
Yeah,
my
takeover,
homegirl,
right?
Jessica Lynn, huh?
They have a takeover, right?
Not that I know of.
Okay. I got hit up by a takeover party or something like that.
Yeah, it's in the flyer.
No, it's my bad. Sorry, put you on the spot there. Just totally put you on the spot. It's all me.
But big up to Jay Lynn. I got to get Jay Lynn here too.
Yes.
She goes back like way back. Way
Yes,
back.
she does.
You know, like
Yes, she does.
She's a veteran in the game. But big up to her and the whole crew. Greg, D, Aaron, you know.
He makes me laugh. He makes me smile every time I see him.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He just makes me smile.
And Thursday, we got Subtle Soul with Jay Handel. He's got
Love that dude. Call me Jay.
he's got Reptile Society. They'll be laying it down with him.
Sounds dirty.
And and also Thursday at DCR you have Lenny Alfonso and Ikaika. Friday you have Carlos Sanchez with Friday Night Social. And you also have Minimal Beats, Beets, at Juicy Beats.
Well, that's confusing. Just gotta keep it real. Oh, that's the name of the party?
Huh? Yeah, Minimal
Oh.
Beats.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a
Who's
plan.
doing that?
It's something that it's easier when you see it.
Yeah.
But that's Tino and Oscar.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
They get. Matter of fact, I think I'm playing next month there.
Stands to reason.
I'll get into that, but it's a great spot. I mean,
Oh, I
like
love the spot.
like the last 3 nights I just talked about, they're all at
I love the spot.
Juicy Beats. Yeah. Wednesday, Thursday, yeah. So that's Wrecking Crew Wednesdays, Subtle Soul, Minimal Fridays. All that's at Juicy Beats. And then you have Saturday, you got Saturday Night Vibe at DCR with Douglas Gibbs. And also Saturday, back at Juicy Beats, you have Release with Aaron and Harry A.
I like those dudes.
Man,
You know what?
they get it in.
You know what? And then I going to check out Aaron there. I've fallen victim to that. As much as I love Aaron, my fellow resident, me and the rest of the 185 people, Dr. House, I maybe have forgotten. I never saw him play that rare groove stuff like that. Like like them together. There's something that works. That I enjoy it. Just put it like this. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't get there as much as I want, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, they get it in. Big ups to them. And then rounding the week off, Sunday, Nacho House Sunday, and that's gonna be
Banquito. My homeboy.
that's the funniest shit ever. Alex Peace from Chicago, and Blanquito.
He better have his shorts on. If Blanquito's open up for him, that's just all I gotta say. Don't judge that book by its cover.
And my dude Q Moves. Just I
Special
can't
night.
wait.
It's gonna be a special night. I'm not gonna be there. But
Yeah.
It's gonna be, and I'm really upset about it. But it's gonna be, for me personally, big ups to Tony for making that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he's doing what he says he's doing on the flyer, it's even more special to me. And big ups. So Blanquito, little white boy. Which also makes more sense when you see it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is. And then when he said who it was, I was like, oh.
Did you laugh for like 10 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even know he had a DJ name. Matter of fact, the last time I saw him play, his name was on there. So that's gotta be new.
I don't think so. He's been Banquitos. He's played in England.
Then he hadn't. Tony wasn't privy to it. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Okay. So for whatever reason, I never saw it on the flyer, so I never made the connection.
That was funny.
Come on, it's just all love.
Heavy D style, baby.
Dilly. Come on now. Big ups, Heavy D.
Big. Yeah.
So yeah, that's round out the week, and also you have Saturday at After D Unity, and that's with Tavo, Oscar Molina, and your boy Tequila. And
Who's Tequila?
My Vibe, Your Vibe.
Oh, he changed their names.
I don't know. I think that's him.
Good.
But
couldn't hurt.
and our dude of dudes, David Serrano.
Love that.
What's happening?
Hey, David, punch Tequila in his mouth when you see him.
Hey man, this is house music.
That's what I'm saying.
This is house music.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't house.
There is that.
I'm just fucking. Actually, I'm not, but I'm whatever.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just serious.
Don't be taking Jamie Foxx's lines.
Oh man.
Don't just bother me. I'm serious.
But yeah, so that rounds out the week. Business taken care of.
Damn.
If you are visiting Vegas, if you live in Vegas and I haven't seen you for a minute, let's change that. You know, regardless of the options that you have.
Hit one of them up.
Well, I'd like to say pick one of them up regularly.
Yeah, but I mean, people got their lives. Maybe just start with that.
I mean, semi-regularly. I mean, when it's all said and done. I mean, and I'm only talking to the people that so-called love house music. You know, you use the L word and you're talking about how much you love something. That has to be shown somehow.
That's why I told broads for years I lurbed them.
You lurb them?
Lurbed them. So you I'd say love. Maybe people start doing that or show up. Just saying, show up to a party or two.
The only question I have is whether or not that worked or not, and why.
You'd be surprised. Back to the nights. Show up. They were good.
That explains our political climate. But anyway, no.
Like my love life's been drilled down to the political climate.
Hey man, you know they fall for that. That's why we got Cheetos.
I'm not saying a word. He's right. You guys can come out and we all fall victim to it from time to time. Roy is one of the good guys about being out. We all got things to do, but there's we can make a little bit of time. Even if it's go have a drink and get away from it, at least you show up and
I think it gets lost how important because the thing is that beyond knowing the cats that do these nights, I get nothing out of this.
Get nothing out of it.
I'm not. I have, but I mean that's not something I do on a regular basis. But at the same time, in order for these things you can't take them for granted. They don't.
Because they will go away.
It will go away, and the thing is that when nights aren't doing good, what it takes to keep from going away.
You usually have one shot at it.
What it takes to keep whoever makes that choice at bay.
Yeah.
Because
there's always somebody that's just looking to, hey, I can do it better.
Yeah. For that's how we got here.
Yeah, exactly.
that whole thing where more for less, and the ambulance chasers and shit. But but when it's all said and done, it's all about the numbers.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. That's all it's about.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, so if we get a byproduct of that, if we can spread our house or do our thing on the back of that, sort of like casinos. You don't like them, but you like your kids getting educated. To what extent they do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to take a little bit. That's what it is. Money drives the train, man.
It really does. It really does. And if you're those people that only come out every now and then, and you wonder why things, it may be an off night. Well, you kind of play a part in that. If everybody thought like you, then it makes sense why when you finally decide to come out, someone else is thinking, I'm not going to come out. Yeah. But with that said, we do have an obligation as DJs and purveyors and curators to make sure that when people make a choice to come out, that there's a better chance of them not regretting it.
See what he just said
you can't please everybody every time, but there's a duality to shit. Yeah. We all have responsibility.
Symbiotic.
Stop taking shit for granted and just being flippant about
the state of the scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of you cats ain't really in it. And I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that at all.
I'll go a step further. If the status of your life is where you've got kids and this, that, and that, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine too. And I understand that. But and I appreciate that your contributions of the past stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I would say, like, pick a night. Maybe you got kids or whatever. Pick a night, because you all got time for one night.
Come on, give me once a month.
That's
If anything, if you got kids, you need to come out once a month.
And that's on you.
Because I'm not starting to go from me for your bail money.
Listen,
Goddamn kids drive you crazy, man.
listen, that's on y'all for having them.
How about those Yankees?
They suck. Congrats.
They probably do. I wouldn't
You
know.
wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
Me and T, the only two DJs on the planet like sports.
Well, it's not that I don't know.
We get derailed.
I just don't give a fuck.
34 days of college football.
I mean, you got grown-ass men that make a really good living playing a game.
hey, that's because they're the only ones that can do it. Hey, not for nothing, but there's a reason why. Well, there's a couple of reasons. Don't have your big parties on Labor Day weekend. I won't be there unless you're paying me a grip of money. Kick off football season.
Yeah.
Now you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, it makes sense.
Anyway,
It makes sense because there are a lot of you people.
What do you mean, you people?
It's just nice to be able to say it to somebody else for once. Shit.
we got derailed. That's okay. That's what we do.
Yeah, because I mean, what we got for you today really
Doesn't matter.
Isn't much. It's actually bullshit.
That is a great segue.
Y'all about to get duped. I'm telling you right now. But no, actually,
That's fucking hilarious.
what I wanted to get into is
It's a great segue.
is what I hope to soon be something that you guys will get more out of the show, which is not just the other side of Vegas, but the other side of the other side of Vegas. And one of those sides is Soulsupplement Records. I don't know. We probably known each other, what, good few years now?
Yeah, we've known each other by acquaintance for a few years now, but really know each other?
Yeah.
This hasn't been that long.
No, it hasn't. But I was one of those cats, and I am that cat about everything. I didn't know there was a Soulsupplement Records.
He also doesn't know that there's a...
I didn't know there was a Bruno and Brown in Vegas because at that time he was on hiatus and he was focusing on his shit. So, I mean, there's a timing thing. But at the same time, what I want to do is I want to get more into not just the label and how it came about and all other stuff, but I also want to get into label-related stuff.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we got the DJ stuff taken care of, but the label and the production side, especially when you have so many producers.
And there's more and more cats starting labels.
That's not even worth air quotes. You have so many producers out there.
We're trying to be good.
I mean, just being that we try to shed a little light on not just DJ stuff, but we're pretty demographically specific for the most part. But a lot of things that we say are universal as DJs. And I'm looking forward to doing the same thing on the production and record label side. So let's just hop right on in. You just recently celebrated 11 years.
11 years, yeah. Well, it was low key, because it's odd number, and the OCD won't allow me to celebrate that tough on an odd number year. It don't make any sense, but I wouldn't say that, but it's just more like that.
Yeah. Same thing.
So it's actually been around longer than 11 years, but I was of the opinion that if you have nothing, and by nothing I mean music, to provide, I'm not even trying to be funny. If you don't have a product, you really can't count that as, being born. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a product to give. So there was a lot of years where, first off, we started Point Man Entertainment. My ex-business partner, still a little brother in my mind, Curse Bledsoe. We started, and it was a loosely group of DJs through a party, at Glow. Big up Gino Pinto, Paulie. We did that for like a year. And I had started working on music, did a few commercials, this, that, and the other. They were just terrible. But they put money in my pocket, and did a couple hip hop tracks with my man Moke C. Big up to Moke C. I guess he's doing a bid right now, but maybe he'll see this. Who knows? Anyway, but the party we did like a year on a Friday night at Glow. That's a hard night. When Glow closed down, I used that as an opportunity, or that was kind of I'm not one for signs, but I was like, I need to focus on production and let's see how that goes. And so I was out of the scene for a good 4 years, I would say. And then I worked on music. And it took a long time to come up with one track. I mean, a long, because I had no idea what I was doing. I guess I should say that, he got started. My man Curtis and I Curtis was asked to do Giant with Dave Dean. I don't know if you were here then at Babies, promote Giant. We were the first guys to bring out Donald Glaude, and we packed it. I mean, it was not that hard as Donald Glaude, but that we were making some noise. Just just the old school cats, some of the same cats that that Carl was talking about last time. So we kind of got a little disillusioned with the whole thing a little bit, just the nature of the music at the time. The same old beef if you're a house guy, the same old argument. And we were at, of all places, Ellis Island. And I can't remember which one of us said it. I really don't. I'll just give the credit. It sounds like some smart ass shit I would say, but I'm going to give the credit to Curtis because I'm not sure. But one of us said, man, this town is very deficient in soul. It needs a damn supplement of soul. It needs a soul supplement. Mm-hmm. One word, and that was written out on a napkin, and I still got that in a frame. And that was the day Soul Supplement was born, which was about 4 years before the first release. So I don't count that time prior to that because nothing was being done. It was we'd set the company up and because we're a real company and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, our first release is in 2006 at the Foundation Room on Mario Longo's birthday.
Big ups to Mario.
Boom. And that was Lessons. It was probably some of the worst. It was the worst track I've ever written in my life. I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm not one of those guys that keep tracks waiting. That was as best as I could do at that time.
Yeah.
And it was,
sometimes you just got to call it done.
And I called it done. And it was a 3-tracker. Curtis did two original and a remix. Curtis did a remix. We put that out. 6 months later, put the second one out, and then we switched over to digital. And the first one was in 2006, and that's when I came back out, and I started hitting up the Empire Ballroom and enjoying myself a little, enjoying myself again with some of the trappings of the nightlife. Leaving seamless at 11 o'clock on a Sunday. Just a real degenerate. But I don't know. But that's how it started. Once we got distro. The main thing that people don't realize is there's a lot of work. If I had all the time I spent on label admin as I did write music, I'd have 1 million songs out. But it's to get distribution is a pain in the ass, and it was hard for us to get distribution. It really was, and it was tough. I mean, we had like a couple of pieces. We had like 6 tracks. We had Stompy, and they didn't really want to whatever. But it's the grind. You start writing music, and then first, if you look at our catalog, most of it's me, or a pseudonym of me. If you see Jean-Paul Sarkozy on the vocals, that's me. If you see Scattergun, that's me. I mean, actually, Francesca put it a principal in Soulsupplement put it pretty in my face. One day I said, "Hey, look, I'm starting to use text because I never used text before because I just use a picture." She goes, "Well, you didn't really need to. It was just you writing all the songs." I was like, "Bitch." She wasn't wrong. So that's how it got started. And it was just a slow grind, an eviction from our apartment, still putting out releases in the corner of my boy Sean Beck's kitchen. You know what I mean? It's like just never stopping. Never took time to make stickers. Never took time to make T-shirts. I took time to make music. And it's not all great. And when you look at it in its entirety, I used to be embarrassed by how bad it was. But when I'll let people hear the whole thing, the whole catalog, it's like that's as good of a producer as I was at that moment in time. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I take a step forward, sometimes I take a step back. But that's why I just release shit. And now we got 58 artists on the label.
Nice.
That are on 6 different continents, We're on our 128th release. Well, I got 128 releases. We're on our 118th now. So,
Well, speaking of that, I won't ask who's your favorite.
you could, because I won't answer.
But what are the more memorable cats that you've worked with, and why?
Ooh, for a soul supplement?
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay. Well, you know, that's a part of the deal. Like, you know, when I first got into this, I kind of thought it was like, you know, when you watch the old the Temptation story, the cheesy movie, I kind of thought it was still like that, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like the record business, like it's you work so asymmetrically and disjointed that you don't really completely work with people, but you do form relationships. I would say the most important one to me was Chris Cowie. He's had a couple of Essential mixes. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a tech house guy and a techno guy. He was 808 State, De Niro, million pseudonyms. We were partners for a while on his other labels, Hook, which is a trance label. I never wrote music. I like that disclaimer. And Bellboy, which was a techno label. Well, he taught me how to run a record label because I didn't really know how. You know, he did a remix for us early in the game, and he thought we were a much bigger label because we had an answering service and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, "I like the way you run things." I'm like, "I run a tight ship." I mean, just the professionalism side of the thing, as far as you know. The bar is pretty low with professionalism in the music business. If you have a letterhead and you answer your emails, that's high fucking praise. But but he made the biggest impact on me. But I've made some really good friendships, man, along the way. That obviously, I'm close with Richard Nelson, Corey Mavericks. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's been in the game a long time, and I'm close enough to his. It's not like Chris, who was I got Essential mixes, and we're close enough on the whatever those levels are that it's easy to talk to. He's just done it first, and you know what I mean. So, and he's just a good friend as long as you don't leave your phone around, because he will steal it, and he's an asshole like that. So.
There is that.
But there's been so many, man. I mean, the cool thing is guys that I never thought I would ever meet. Like I get and this is not even someone on the label, but just because of the label, first time I got hit up by Diz, I saved a screenshot of that in Facebook forever. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, dude, wow, it's so cool. And you meet these guys like Doc and like, Mark, and not that they're on the label, but it's all blended in together. It's kind of weird. It's kind of cool. And then all of a sudden that wears off. At first you're like, I mean, I don't get starstruck, but it's just you're aware that I've got all these records from these guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, this guy is the same kind of a weirdo that I am.
Yeah, on one side, it's not necessarily a matter of being starstruck. It's just like, it's kind of what I aspire towards.
Yeah, you know exactly.
Like that's yeah. I wouldn't want to be there if there weren't people already there that made it desirable.
That's right.
That's
right, man. No, it's true.
So it's not necessarily being starstruck. So I get that part.
I've been a big fan. I've been an advocate for years, and it's only happened recently of pushing Vegas, and I got really frustrated there for a while because no one at the time seemed to be following through. Either we were high talking or whatever, and if I high talk, I'm still talking. I'm not gonna not remember it. So I try to get cats that want to do music. They would say whatever, that I would never hear from them again. A lot of big ups to me being back out in the scene and playing more. I've reconnected with a lot of cats, and we have more Vegas people on the label now than at any time. I want to say we have 9, 10, maybe 12 people, either music on the label in some part or releases that are about to come up. And that's was always the goal.
Now, in all fairness, though, chances are back then those people weren't ready for something like that.
That's valid. No, you're right. But what threw me off was that they said they were, and it took me a while to realize that people,
Yeah, that's not even music related.
Yeah,
it's not even music related.
You tell me after a few cocktails we're gonna do something on Monday. I don't have any fucking thoughts that we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're growing man business.
Yeah, and like one of the first things I do is I bring in my calendar.
Yep.
And I just.
That's what we
What?
do.
What time? All right, cool.
That's what we do. That's
Bomb.
what we do.
Done.
That's what we do.
And
man.
I'm not a, it took me a long time to know that it was actually a word, but I'm not a reconfirmer. I don't reconfirm.
Because there's no need to.
It's confirmed.
Because you confirm.
It's done.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, you're right. But then, you said something earlier about not even knowing there's a soul summit. There's a lot of cats that don't, and I'm okay with that. I definitely wasn't getting any traction, and for whatever reason, the music wasn't that damn good anyway. But at the time, we were the only label in town for a lot of years, like house label for a lot of years, and I'm proud of that. We've been here for a minute now, and there's something to be said about that. I take pride in it, but people didn't really know because I'm marketing on the outside end. There's way more people that know about Soulsupplement outside of Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Than inside of Vegas.
God.
Just way more.
That's kind of like a lot of other things, just like playing.
Yeah, exactly like playing.
Matter of fact, it's almost it's not exactly the right word, but it's almost a prerequisite. It's almost like you're not going to make any noise at home for real, until you start making noise somewhere else.
I think you're right. I think you're spot on, and it's weird. But and it'll throw you off if you get too. When I go out of town, if I haven't been out of town in a while, it's kind of shocking at first when someone recognizes you or knows you're playing and they come to see you play or they know your label and it's like. Okay, yeah, cool. And it's not even an ego thing. It's just like, because sometimes you get beat down with thinking, man, why the fuck am I doing this?
It's just nice to hear something from the outside.
Yeah. Big time.
The fact that we got to mind fuck ourselves on a regular basis, okay, I'm kind of used to that. But I can use a little help every now and then. God damn. Let me know I'm on the right track. Should I keep putting energy into this shit? Someone digs it. Okay, well, you know what?
Thank God.
That keeps me chasing the dragon.
Thank God. The label, I'm going to let you ask the questions.
No, God.
Things didn't really. I don't know. It's been a weird switch. Believe me, it takes about 100 hours to do a release, and that's not me doing a remix. I'm talking.
That's after the track.
That's admin. Mm-hmm. That's graphics, mastering, distro, IRC codes, all the XYZs. If done right,
And for those that don't know what an IRC code is.
International Specialized Recording Code. I don't know what the S. I don't know, but
it's the barcode.
No, it's not a barcode. It's a code that basically, I forget what the S stands for. Basically, it's the code. It changes over. Not changes over. You have your first part of the code, but every year, it's blah 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 blah. 2017, whatever. Basically, it's how they track your music. So it helps you if someone, because it's encoded in the track. Mm-hmm. That it's yours, and it's a unique code that's only assigned to you. It doesn't seem to be working because, but there's a lot of meticulous things that have to be done, and I get why people aren't that. A lot of people like to just say, "I want to start a record label," and you never see any music from them because I'm not even trying to be funny. There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah,
the music is the least amount of time is put into the music, which sounds crazy. You can make the greatest song in the world, but you're going to spend shitload more time getting it to distro, promos, this, that. And I don't have the balance now. I still don't have a balance. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough with gigs and admin and making music. I haven't had a release on the label, and this will be the second year I haven't had a release on my own label.
Oh man.
Well, there's something happened along the way where I'm so stacked up on releases that my ego's not such that I need to be on every fucking release. I can't. Couldn't if I wanted to. So I have releases all up until the end of 2018, which I'm about to open up demo submission here pretty soon, which is a good feeling.
Yeah.
But it's a hard balance because I've been focusing on other labels lately, and that's been a fucking bear. But anyway.
Focusing on other labels in what capacity?
But there's a time there was like 6 months in 2015 where I had like 4 or 5 releases out a month. on different labels and stuff. And
Oh damn.
yeah, and I mean, I got a pretty big catalog, and so I mean, it's not big as everyone's, but it's bigger than it's decent. You know, it's a lot of tracks. But I made the conscious decision this past year to, after doing some sample pack stuff the year before, of doing specific targeted labels. Like, you know, I'm always going to give a release to Great Lakes. I just, you know, that's in my mind, that really kicked off my production as far as people outside of, put on a bigger platform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a big up to Mark, because I know he's watching. But I made myself a promise to always have a release for Great Lakes. Mm-hmm. And you know, so I'm focused on that. I got a Panhandle release coming out, and I'm doing some collabs with Mark. I don't know what labels they're going to, but I do my part, he does his, and they go to wherever he says. And I just finished up one with Andy Caldwell. So not as many things, because I've been, as you know, I've been focusing on playing out more and getting back to the gigs.
Yeah.
But I've been doing very targeted, you know, like, I want to be on this label, I want to be on, you know, just bucket list type of stuff, and just bigger, not as many rounds down range, but just targeted ones.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's good shit.
Yeah, it'll do in a pinch. And the label's behind, just in case there's any ambiguity, label is a full sponsor and supporter of Nacho House Sunday.
Oh yeah.
We put the label behind that, and I think it's a good arrangement. Like there's some cats that maybe not have been, they would eventually become aware of Nacho House, but maybe they didn't know. Well, I know that there's cats that knew me. Pick up the phone, they're gonna be in Vegas, and it's a, you know, they come by and they play, and then they see the great pictures that Tony takes. They come, they have a good time, and it's always a fun time, because there's a lot of cats that, hey, I'm gonna be in Vegas.
Yeah.
That I've known for years, producing wise.
Hmm.
So, and there's this podcast.
Speaking of that, you got anything lined up as far as someone coming out?
You know what? I have Walt Smith coming out. You know Walt? You know Walt? How do you not know Walt? You know of Walt?
Yeah, I know of Walt.
Okay, he's coming out.
I've never met him.
Yeah, I've never met him either. But he's like one of those guys that so many people go, they make that run. You know, he doesn't have a party going on right now, I don't think. But I just wanted to reach out and get him to come out, just because. And I know as soon as he has something again, I already told him, you and I, we're willing to take a drive down and play. I mean, because you... No?
Where is he?
He's in Arizona, or New Mexico. I gotta be honest with you, people, I get those confused. Listen, people from New Mexico get Georgia and Alabama confused.
I'm gonna let that part slide. Yeah, no. For some reason, I had Phoenix in my head.
Me too. I feel like an ass right now. I get those all confused.
But yeah.
He's a good guy, man. He's good friends with T, and that's usually good enough for me.
Oh, big ups to T. It's good seeing her last week.
Oh, dude, she laid it down at the pool. She laid it down Sunday, but people didn't realize she was banged up.
Well, I mean,
she was tired.
Rightfully so, coming from San Diego.
Yeah, so they wore them out.
Oh man. Yeah, Soleil can do that.
Oh.
Big ups to the Soleil crew. Mikey Town.
We'll see you Sunday. I'm coming in as a participant in the fun.
You know what?
I'm excited.
That's highly recommended.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. Absolutely.
Since I'll be in that general area.
Yeah. Where are you gonna be?
AC Lounge, baby.
That's right.
Gotta put the shorts on playing with that motherfucker.
Big ups to Magic Brian.
Dude, it's not often I see a motherfucker play. I'm like, oh shit, I need to go buy some fucking cuts.
Matt's a beast.
He is a beast, dude.
He's a beast.
I'm like, look at this guy.
You gotta sharpen your Ginsus.
Dude,
I mean,
hey, steel sharpen steel.
You're not going. I love the feeling. I love when I feel like I can't relax.
That's what I'm.
And this is even within the context of it all being love. It's nothing competitive at all.
I just don't feel that very much. I mean, that's not sounding cocky or whatever.
Yeah.
I just,
valid.
it's. I didn't get this feeling open up for Mark and Sneak, because it was you. utilitarian because they're whatever. But when I saw Matt play, I ain't saying I'm just like, okay, all right, all right. let me dig. All right.
Hey, make sure you bring your A game. Yeah.
Which is nothing but love and respect
For
man,
real.
because damn.
Yeah, Matt's a boogie bandit, so that's gonna be a great night.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I got that. Then the next growing up after that, I got Milk Bar in September, and in September also Chicago. That we haven't hammered that out yet, but me, T, and DJ Heather supposedly.
Oh,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what's up. And evidently she's going to film me at Wiener Circle. You know about Wiener Circle? You do know about Wiener Circle?
I do not.
Evidently.
I'm waiting for the fucking joke.
No, there's no joke. It used to be all the Chicago peeps will know. It's a hot dog joint, right? And you know how you see a movie, you have like the really like the Hollywood stereotypical African American female. That's like a cliche. They all work there, and they give it to the customers tough. Like if you don't order fast enough, like they're like, you don't know what you want with the fucking, like they're in your business. And then people come in drunk at like whatever they come in the morning, and I gotta go to. I used to watch the reality show they had. They just filmed this shit all day long.
Okay.
I was like, A, I love hot dogs. B, I gotta go. She goes, I'm gonna film that shit because that's gonna be hilarious. Because I know she knows that I might have a smart ass comment to say or two.
No,
she goes, I'm gonna film that. That's gonna be amazing. I'm like, do what you gotta do. I just want me some hot dogs.
By any means.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah, there's a million things, dude. That I would say you and I, when we first started this, we had a difference of opinion. I don't think that you've changed your opinion about production and DJs, but you've accepted it more than anything, or you've changed a little bit. Like you were pretty militant about, I wouldn't say militant, but I know you definitely did not like the fact that it was so closely tied to production. And
No. That wasn't. Yeah, definitely.
Well, damn, I just thought you were being an ass. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it wasn't really a matter of not being like validated or something. It's just that when you already have DJs that you know are DJs,
right?
Judging someone what felt like solely as to whether or not they have a track out,
right?
You know, in consideration for a DJ gig.
All right, yeah, okay, yeah, I misread that, but I get that because I've seen some cats that can't lay it down that are producers.
So that's to me that's working. That's me working the logic backwards. When if you're starting from right now where we have so many producers that really cannot DJ, and that's no ego, no bullshit. And that's even within the context of every now and then a good DJ is going to have an off night. You just have some producers that fucking suck.
Yeah.
Now
most of them weren't DJs first, I think, too, and you could tell.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But,
I'm not making excuses for them. You suck. You suck.
No, yeah. Even if you suck, I mean, and I totally get like that. Maybe they're supposed to suck. Like whatever it is, I'm not knocking it.
He just said maybe they're supposed to suck.
I'm not knocking it. It's just that.
No, I get it.
But if you genuinely suck as a DJ, why does you being a producer give you a leg up on getting a DJ gig?
Because it ain't. Yeah. No, you're right.
You know, so it's not even a matter of me being salty. Right. It's just like if you just listen to those words, they don't add up.
No, you're right. You're
right.
You're right. But it's for me. I talk about this all the time. It definitely, in some ways, I think helped me DJ and get gigs. But in a lot of ways, it kind of hurt me. I wouldn't say hurt me. Like, you know my stance on the opening up deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just gonna let it go. Listen, at least I'm fucking cognizant of it, and I try to get better.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I'm not saying, man, I'm awesome at it. Mm-hmm. What do I do when I have to open up? Yo, Roy. I mean, I ain't trying to fucking snip, but that's my go-to guy because you're one of the best cats I know that can go wherever that you place you in the roster, in the lineup.
Yeah, you know because that's where I started.
But that being said, I don't know that this is why I never really got those gigs, but when I came back out and started playing out a lot, I just immediately got put into a different time slot.
Gotcha.
So you know what I'm saying. So I'm not making excuses, but it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all know white privilege for what it is. I'm just. Come on, that was too easy. It was too easy.
You know, on that note,
I couldn't.
On that note, let me privilege our asses with fucking shots. But like I said, I think I'm getting better. By the way, big up to Moon Shadows on Thursday night. I really love you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys back. I'm not playing, but back out in September in Malibu. I had a great time, and I'll have you know that I played. The highest I got was 115 BPMs. Most of the night was 109.
There you go.
Yeah, it was great.
That's how it's done.
No, it's not. I got to catch up on
that's how it's done when you did it.
I got to catch up on some conversations. Because you have a lot of time to talk. You go A to B.
and the thing, and that's what, you know.
But on the beach, you hear that whoosh, you're looking at, I mean, it was nice time. So big ups to those cats, man. Big and Shane. Big Tom.
Big ups to Jeff.
Yeah, big ups to Batman Burger. That guy. 17th of September, big party out there. I'll tell you about it later. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a hell of a producer.
All right, so on the production side, okay, like you start the label and you're getting your production on. There are a myriad of things that you learn along the way, as far as but what do you see now, as far as without judging creativity, you know, but as far as like what's done and it's like holy fuck, you know, like those things that you had to learn along the way that cats are doing now.
Ooh, like say that before as just like technical shit. Before as I don't know, it took me a long time because I didn't ask for help.
There's that.
I didn't I wish a million times if I'd have had someone, even just a little tutorials or something that I gave you or gave Mike. I wish I'd have had that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably a bit over my head, whatever. But it took. I know I like to bust Mike's ass about sidechain compression, but it took me a while to get my head around the motherfucker too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to get it right. And it was, I know Dan Coker's going, it's so easy. Yeah, fuck you, Dan. But
big ups to Coker.
But you know, just the little things that Forest Cat's doing now. I don't know. I don't really know that I can bitch about something. Stop making so many breaks in the middle of tracks. I can bitch about that. That's just because
I can end up doing a whole entire segment about that shit. But no, go ahead.
But I don't know. I think as far as what other cats are doing, honestly, God, I really don't focus on that at all.
Mm.
Like, and that sounds, however it sounds, I don't know how it sounds, but I can see how it sounds shitty. I don't even listen to the radio or music that much outside of when I'm in a production cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to influence me.
Yeah. I do the same thing when I'm playing.
Yeah, you know, it's like I have to do that. So when I do hear something that's awesome, that's amazing, I'm thinking, ooh, okay, well, that's pretty clever. You know, that and I can't put my finger on a specific one, but you know, there's just little certain things that you hear. You know what? Speaking of Coker's savant ass, he put up a track that evidently we couldn't get the samples cleared that I was excited about. That was so good, and I'm pretty good about this. I didn't sense at the time, but I told him, I said, you need to shop this someplace else. Not because it's no good, because it's so good. And I will say that if I think if you bring me a gem and you haven't lent your means to get in touch with Nervous, in fact, I'll give you someone who can get in touch that's on Nervous. And I see it would better you. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely do it. I mean, cause that's my mentality. I'm a team player like that, and the money is not enough that's going to make a difference in my life. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to. If you have something that good, I want to see someone succeed, especially if you're in Vegas. Dan had a track like that. He couldn't get the sample cleared. I really wish he could. where I forget what it was, but he was using a vocal or something that was so in the pocket. There's nothing new for us using it for percussion, but he was using it. It was something about the swag that he had on it that was unique. And it sounded, because I can't even describe it. It was so good that I was like, holy shit, dude. That's when I realized that he was a better producer than me.
It was so good it had you shook.
I wouldn't say shook, but I did realize, as I remember hitting him up, I just realized you're a better producer than me.
Well, I mean...
I can take him in any given day, any given Sunday, but I'm saying he's just very clever and a savant. He's a half a fucking Happy Meal away from being Rain Man when it comes to fucking music. Qantas never crashes, motherfucker.
Why you put the Happy Meal on the big boy though?
Why? Because I know the material. I know the neighborhood. Give me a fucking break. I mean, pretty goddamn obvious. At the end of the day, you have got to do you musically.
Yeah.
You cannot do, like, listen, what I do may not be your cup of tea. Sometimes it ain't my own cup of fucking tea. But you cannot try to emulate, recreate, rip off someone else's shit, because you can only go so far doing that. There's a reason why Farina likes the stuff that I do, because it doesn't sound like anybody else's. It's what I do, and it might not be for everybody's cup. That's fine. I got thick skin, man. I'm in the record business for a while now. If you can't take some criticism, you better get up out of it, because it's a tough business as far as that. However, I've always found and went where I wanted to go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
This is true.
And but it's me.
But in the end, that's it's the same thing with DJing. I mean, so at some point, all you can do is what you can do, and find a way to be okay with your efforts. That's
right. Because that's a piece of you.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Well, I don't trust a DJ who's at peace with his efforts. I have to get off. I mean, as far as initially, because we all go, man.
I mean, it's not the same as being at peace with the results.
Right. Yeah, that's valid.
I can go to sleep knowing that, and even within the context of, I probably, if it's a 50-50, I probably coulda, shoulda, woulda, but that's the point. I made the best choice I could at the time, and I did the best I could with the information I had at the time.
And if you keep doing that, the things that piss you off, at least myself, the mistakes that I make in the set become you can tell, at least for me, I can tell. It was noticeable when I started realizing that the mistakes I was bitching about, people beside me, not you, motherfucker, they were like, wow, that's what you're bitching about? I mean, not you. You were like, oh yeah, but you brought that one in on the fucking two, and it's a vocal, and and there was bitches taking pictures with me, motherfucker. Now, okay, it's valid. It's fucking valid. I was already pissed off about it, but damn, let me get off the deck before you bring it up.
Yo,
time goes down. Steel sharp as steel.
Hilarious.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Like, in that example, I mean, I would be pissed. Like, like fuck, dude, this no big ups to people who won't take pictures, but during a transition, sometimes you need to learn those transitions, and especially DJs, motherfuckers. You don't got no excuse.
Honestly, I'm forced to give anyone a pass that's not a DJ. But if you're a DJ and you see 2 and sometimes 3 faders up, man, it's almost like you can't wait till the commercial to ask me that fucking question.
Wait till the commercial. It's like, especially if you hear like a vocal and another vocal, because it's okay. Listen, if it's just music, you can fake the funk on that sometimes if you get it out quick. But if it's a vocal, that bass line's coming up, or you're about to hit a bridge, and now it's like, I just look like an asshole.
It's bad enough sometimes I am an asshole. Sometimes I fuck up because that 50-50, I thought this deck was a little bit behind. I went and fuck, goddamn it.
That usually invoke a boo from me. Boo.
And like all those things aren't like, it's not the end of the world, but it's like when I can foresee it, and then
You
I
see
make
it.
that choice and I
You
fuck up.
see
It's like, God damn.
Dude, I see it happen. I've seen people come across, and I see that they want to. It's almost like that when you play like a low key restaurant gig, a utility gig, as I like to call them. You gotta get that power pay. You gotta get that power pay. You try to make eye contact because you know this Becky that's coming up with her Miller Lite or whatever she's drinking is about to ask you for a fucking for a damn request. So you just look down. Am I wrong? And you just act like that. You ain't even in the mix, but you act like what you do is the most important thing on the planet.
Man.
Am I wrong?
Man. Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
I'm all over the fucking place.
I got my ear deep in the cup, dude. I'm deep in it.
And what's really bad about it is I fluctuate every now and then. I mean, sometimes I'm jazz hands and sometimes I'm like, yeah, come on over here. Yeah. I am so ready to hear what you gotta ask me.
Not through the transition, he's not.
Man.
But dude, let me tell you, the I look at the gigs, the DJ, and the label side of things. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it or what you think about the music, if you are a local in Vegas, you hear music that's about to come out 6 months in the future.
Yeah.
Because I start playing it, whether it's mine or anybody else's. Like I was wearing out that Scott Wozniak track before it came out because it was getting great crowd response. Now, and then I'm not going to just take one night of me playing it 10 or 6 BPMs faster than it should be on one floor to judge, to get an idea of how it's going to go. So I played it a lot, and true to form, it had such a good response. And then you get guys like Wally that, he's like, yeah, that's a really good track.
I mean, testing it out is testing it out. Because
and you do, and you have to.
Even when you feel like a track has this kind of potential, let's say you throw it down, and it did okay, but
there was something.
In retrospect, it's like, man, had I held off on that one through this one and that one before that, I could have took them here and really. So it's like, okay, you know what? It may not fit the next gig, but maybe the gig after that.
Yep.
Let me see if I can slide it. This feels right.
Or I've gone as far as where I've gone back on songs that I've written. Like this past year, the Panhandle releases, I played them out. There was different iterations of track, that Rooster track, and the Pimp track, because it worked, but it didn't work like I wanted it to work. And the Rooster track, all I had to go was I had to put a spot in where I had a ride going and a little extra percussion to accent the break. Then I could get out, and it just created the biggest difference for as crowd response, because it just died too quick, and there was no, you know what I'm saying? So I'll go back and use that. And if you are a regular gigging DJ and you're a producer, if you're not doing that, and I know it's hard sometimes because, believe me, you listen to the same 2-4 bars 1,000 times. You ain't really, you're over that shit.
Yeah.
But you why wouldn't you? Because if you're a regular gigging cat, it's right there. Try to work it out. Try to see. Just don't think it's going to work. Because let me tell you, there's too much music out there. If I have to work so hard to get your shit in, it better make sparks fly out my ass. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like if I have to,
but there's so many that are just great tracks that just need just a little,
just a little bit more,
just a little something.
Yeah.
And that's. I used to feel like a dick thinking like that.
No.
Because
they may work somewhere else, but not for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, well, at the same time, am I forcing it also? Yeah. Am I like on those familiar with playing spades? There's a phrase "counting ghosts," where you may be seeing something there that ain't there.
Or sandbagging.
Get
it on that production too. What y'all know about that?
Man. But yeah, so I mean, and that's with at least a handful of tracks on a regular basis, constantly working them, and I used to really get on myself about that because it got to a point where I was only recording when I played out,
right?
Because I just, playing at home was really hard, so that's what made Crate Share like this big stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's a good way to get that feeling, you know what I mean, of playing. I mean, you play out enough, you don't need to feel to play out, but you know what I'm saying. If you're not playing out, that's a good tool. I was thinking about the other day for cats to do. To do something like that, you don't have to take your shirt off and go to fucking play school.
Yes,
but,
please.
But you can to do something to create that feeling of seeing what works. That's on the fly. That's not your home, not your norm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my big thing is variation of that or offshoot that is I hate when a track or touching on what you're when they build or break down, and it comes in with nothing new on the back end of that break. Like I don't need you to go have sirens or whatever, but I need something, a different vocal or something added to it, a different bass line, so there's more energy. Or I'm not using it. You know, because it makes it's not adding anything to the set. If it's just break for break's sake, you know what I'm saying? At least that's my opinion. Yeah. Because I'm looking to build.
It's really tough because I've been walking this thin line between feeling like I'm judging people's creativity, you know, and it's not really what I mean to do. But when it's all said and done, there used to be bridges.
What you we were talking off
so
people know the difference between bridge and a break.
And is there direct correlation? I don't know, but it's a bit of a coinky dink that that bridges are gone and every fucking track has a break in it now. And as a track alone, it could be great. But when so many of them have it and you play a fucking set, every song I bring in has this, you know, I call it it's a real break. It makes people break from the fucking dance floor, you know? Like, if every track has a break, now you got people that are remembering they got to go to the bathroom, that they need a drink, you know.
They need something.
To me, it's distracting.
Yeah.
It's
you are pretty beat nonstop. I like to do my breaks. It's usually... A break for me is a kickoff for the next part of the set. Like it's usually like break 5, 6, 7, and you know it's something else is about to happen. You know what I mean? And but if there's no difference in that from what you stopped off to the next part, it don't make sense. There's no why are we stopping? Why'd you take the music out? Why it's you know you use that to frame. At least I do. I like to use that to frame it up for the next portion. And I have to go to a lot of tracks or write them myself to come up with something that's got that energy that change it up and keep it going.
Well, my thing is, like, I used to edit them, and then that just became. I realized how stupid that was. I now just bring something new in, but like, by itself, it's a great song.
That's not what you're not in the great song business.
Exactly. You know, when I'm like trying to move a crowd. You know, so I stopped editing them so that way, I mean, it got cost prohibitive storage wise, having 2 versions and shit. So that didn't last very long. Shit. But there are times when I want to play that song the way it is, and there are other times when I don't want no breaks on the dance floor.
Yeah, beat nonstop.
Now, granted, whether I'm successful at it or not is something different, but it's the game I like to play where I want to see that if at some point in my 2-hour set, that let me see, I'm gonna go for 45 minutes. You know, like no fucking break.
A lot
no
going
break.
on. A lot going on there.
You know, and obviously sometimes I'll set out to do that, but then I have to check myself because I can't. You know, it's just not gonna happen. You know, like the crowd. If I pay attention to what I'm reading, that's not gonna work tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do it another time.
At least you take your time to read the crowd.
Well, I mean,
reading's half the battle.
That's why I'm there.
I know that. You know that. I'm talking to other people.
Or should I say, to say it backwards, I wouldn't be there if it weren't for them. So if I can't keep them in mind, then that's kind of stupid.
You said the exact same thing I said at Bruno. I was the guy, the music director goes, he said, you got to make this exactly what they need to hear, what they want to hear. It's like, yeah, I'm a professional. This is what needs to happen right now.
At the very least, I'm going to try. Yes. I mean, it's not going to happen all the time. but I am going to try because I mean that's why I'm in it.
I'll go a step further about the breaks. As long as I'll give you a little leeway in the breaks as long as there's no in the middle. I hate that.
I don't care what it is.
It sounds like a fat girl farting.
I don't care what it is.
I hate it.
It's just too many of them.
I've had songs where I've had to like set up like loops on the fly, like like if I play it, like this happened last week. Cause I was going into some tracks I forgot about, so I'm like, oh, I don't know where this bitch is going. Oh, another break. It was so many breaks that I couldn't smoothly or like to the level I wanted to get in and get out because it didn't make sense. Because as soon as it would musically happen, it would be a stop. And I'm like, well, damn. So I just said, fuck it. This all sounds the same anyway, so I'm going to just put a 16 bar. And I literally, on one song, just sat there and went, the same piece of music. Because it was so many breaks in the song that I just let it go. And I was counting to my head. I counted about 3 minutes. And I was like, and I got out. I was like, man, I'll never play that fucking track again. I was already, I mean, that's a lot of time I can get out of my head thinking like that, dude. Man. Big ups all the Vegas cats that put out music on Soulsupplement, man. I love the cats for doing that. And I mean, we got quite a few guys. We got Danny. Danny's a heavy hitter, man. Danny can be on any record label he wants. That's why he was the only dude that did not bring gear to the Brooklyn Bowl that that I put on the guest list. Not that you were on my guest list, but because I wanted him to meet Berger, because I felt like that Danny needed to be in that loop where he could get on Great Lakes, or you know what I mean, because he's that good. I mean, he's a, although we say beast on the damn decks. He might overthink everything production wise. It takes him a while to get there because he's going to meticulously get everything right. But man, when it's in the pocket like a son of a bitch, dude. You know, we got him, we got Lip Tricks, we got, Casey, Tony, Royce. He's the best musician in town as far as I'm concerned. I know about that freestyle track too. You don't like to talk about it, but
big up to Royce.
That was good radio play. There's just so many cats, so many good cats. That Vegas, that is a true other side of Vegas, because we don't. I mean, not unlike every other endeavor in Vegas, in the underground or the house music scene or whatever, we get a. We're cast in a non-production, and listen, and a few years ago they would have been wrong. There's tons of cats putting out shit, but they're not putting out shit. They're making shit. They have 15 or 16 tracks unreleased. You know what I mean? To which I say, if only there was a label in town. That is 2 or 3. 2.5. But I think the cats that are coming out, and you know what? If I don't pick it up, there's no harm, no foul. It's all good. I'll never berate someone like or bust balls about their music if they're submitting it. Now, if I'm just hearing it and I think I'll fuck with you a little bit. But if you're like legitimately submitting it, and that's half the battle in this thing, is getting it to the top of the pile. And trust me on this, if you're in Las Vegas and you're a Las Vegas cat, it goes to the top of the pile. Because I rep my town. And that's, well, the business is the business. If you're someone call, it's all done, here you go, whatever. But there is a pile of stuff that I'm going to listen to, and it takes time to listen to it.
Yeah. I
mean, I get, I don't know, probably 35, 40 demos every 2 weeks. Okay. I rarely sign one. I mean, it's unsolicited. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, they're not right. You know, because it's just, because we got a bigger name outside of Vegas. So people, what I imagine happens, they search record labels that we pop up and they submit. Now it might be, I literally got a triangle sound, an ambient triangle at minus 35 dBs. Like he thought, and at 86 kbs, so they thought it would steal it. An ambient triangle sound.
He was trying to do you a favor by making the email really small.
Dude, let's go with that. But it's amazing what I get, some stuff. But I love to hear stuff from Vegas. That's why I take time with cats. That's why I've taken an interest in my man Mike, who's really, he's like breakbeat stuff that I like. I said, man, if I can get that shit right, because we can't find breakbeat house much anymore. And there's something about it. I mean, I don't want to hear it every track, but if you put one in every once in a while, it's got some sexiness to it, like some Pedal Pusher from back in the day. I know you don't know who that is.
No. I ain't gonna lie.
I love that. But you know what I mean? Like I love that, and so I'm trying to get Mike to come up with a track, and and David Serrano's got some music. A lot of cats got music, man, and now they have other options. You know, they have Brian who's laying it down, putting out some. Brian's last release, Brian Garner's that last release was tight. All the releases tight, but you know, those are deep cats.
Big ups to Brian Garner.
Big ups to Brian Garner.
Brenda.
I really like those two cats, man. But I love what they're doing, man. I love anyone that's doing it. I don't care if I'm into it or not, music-wise.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it and you're really doing it, and you have distro, and you have, you know, don't say you're doing it. Fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know, I just, because I'll support it any way I can. Because I just like the people that are making moves instead of, you know.
In the end, that's what it's all about. There's, of course, learning is learning. There's going to be a lot that you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So it almost sounds unfair if you're beginning for me to expect you to be doing.
Well, you're right, but just don't talk about it then.
Exactly.
Come up with a. And I'm not even a dick. Like,
Yeah.
That's why I preface this whole thing about there was those 4 or 5 years where there was a label set up, but no one knew about it anywhere because there was no music.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be that cat that was like, oh, I got a record label. Okay, well, what do you got out? Oh, I'm sorry, I ain't got anything out yet. And I'm not even talking shit. That's just how I am. I want to be able to show you what I got.
Yeah.
Because really, you don't have one until you've put out a release. You have an idea of one. It might be the greatest record label ever, potentially.
Yeah.
But until you put out cuts or releases at all, it's just an idea, and so just don't talk about it until you get it going. But to each his own. But
Yeah.
you know, how many labels are there now? There's cats. I mean, you know, there's freaking Frenchie, who's thank God that Frenchie's one of the best DJs in this town, dude. One of the best sets I've ever seen in my life was Curtis and Frenchie at Raw.
Raw sushi?
Newbie. Club Raw?
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, Dwayne King, credit card fraud guy. That's right, I'm bringing up old shit. He, at the Luxor, I mean, fuck. Guy never booked me, so fuck him. So, but at the Luxor is a big venue, obviously. And, you know, I forget what it is now. They probably started to speak that the speaker, but it was one of the best sets I've ever heard. Like, those two guys killed it. Frenchie, back in the game. I mean, he's always been able to kill it. For, you know, whatever. But now he's back on the production tip, and it's good, dude. He's got some good cuts out. I hate to say I can't remember the name of the label, but I don't feel that bad about it. There's a lot of labels out there, but I'm telling you.
Oh, the new project he's got
Frenchie,
going on, Caravan?
Yeah, Frenchie is a great producer. Y'all look up Frenchie and y'all find the label.
Yeah,
Caravan. I mean, it's
Oh, that's
good.
him and Grover?
I think.
Yeah, it's him and Grover.
Yeah, I don't think I know Grover. Anyway, check this out. I don't think they've had the release out yet, but he's doing it the smart way. And this is what I'm bringing him up. He's been working on it for at least a year. I want to say a little bit more than that. Obviously, since he moved back to Vegas, I've been hearing the stuff, and he's waiting. His comment was, I got to get some stuff in the pocket and on deck before I put shit out, because I don't want to have to worry about that. So now he's old school, so maybe it's just being an old guy. But that makes way more sense, because the first thing you can't go to distro without a bunch of tracks, and you're only good as your last one. And because you have to have out music a lot. That's changed now. There's guys that put out releases every week. I think that's too many. You know, I mean, I put out one a month. That's it. And I think that's too much. But everyone's got ADD. So you have to have a release out every month in the eye. And that's part of the problem. I mean, at the end of the day, it's quality control. It's hard to maintain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got to have a balance. I think I've struck a good balance between, I won't put out more than fucking one. I mean, well, that's not true. During the big, if I have a different, like I have something from, I know you don't know who this is, Jay Caprice, big up to Jay, used to own Juice, used to be partners in Juice. Anyway, he did a down tempo joint, and I'm putting that out. That's That's going to come out October, and it'll be a dual release only because we'll have another release that's higher BPMs. So those are two separate things for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
So that's more of a strategic thing.
yeah, and it's just really good. I got to give it to you. It's been mastered already, but it's pretty fucking good music, man. Like, he's just a good guy. But more than that, I know some of these guys, and it's hard for me to keep up with the promos. If they're every week, and I just don't see the point of putting out one track 3 times a week or 3 times a month. Just put out one EP.
Mm-hmm.
but because of the social media thing, everyone feels the need that to be in the people's eye.
Yeah.
And that tends to cause problems, I think. Man, what do I know? But it just seems that sometimes there's a quality control issue. People need to put out something, so they, you know. But
Well, that's some good insight, and
well, if it's good, it's definitely insight.
well, yeah, that too.
Also, my monitors aren't at level.
So what do you got coming up DJ wise?
Going to AC Lounge this weekend.
That's right.
Supposedly the word on the street is there might be another gig Saturday. That's cool. If not, I showed you what I'm bringing. So Saturday's going to be a good day of fun. Some beach time, whatever. Then I got Denver. And we're starting you and I are starting tentatively doing a little second more, I'm going to say it now. The second Sunday in the month, as long as we don't have any out-of-town gigs, we're going to be teaming up, you and I, and doing a little nacho house, 2 of us. And my idea is to flip back and forth. Who does what, as far as what time slot, But be on the lookout for that. September 10th, the first one. Then, like I said, Chicago's coming up September, and November. Yeah, it's coming November. I'll be in Charlotte. So, and there's
Charlotte.
Yeah, that's
nice.
And Atlanta too. So there's some things coming up.
Cool.
I still haven't opened up for Doc yet, but I'm not you.
Let it go, man. Let it go.
I ain't doing it, dude. I'll let that go. I'll let the $200 go.
Let's be clear.
He
didn't give me no fucking $200.
As a matter of fact, you came out of your pocket way more than I did. I'm just more salty about it.
Holy shit. Man, well, I appreciate your insight on the record business side, and
you're producing too, which is I'm happy about.
And we'll revisit that from time to time. The record biz production side, especially if you got any questions.
Yeah, hit it up, man. Seriously, I'm down with that. If you have any questions, I'll tell you I don't have time, but I am all about helping cats. Now I say that, some of you may not think that I'm that open to help you, because I may have said some things that maybe you have not liked at the time. But however, I've always been open to help people, but you just weren't listening if I snapped at you. And I'm talking about the DJ tip. If I told you some stuff for like a year and then all of a sudden you're still not listening, well, I'm gonna probably snap at you. But hit me up if you have any questions. And I don't know it all. Trust me, I don't know it all. But I've made a lot of mistakes.
That's that shit where you gotta cast that focus on how you said what you said instead of what you said.
I'm sorry, I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for
on that one. Thank you for watching.
Big ups, people.
Spending your time with us, greatly appreciated. Roy Evans.
Bruno Browning.
And this was another episode of The Other Side of Vegas.
How many episodes now?
This makes 13.
Peace, people.
See you on the next one.
The lighting looks good. I kind of got lost in those questions because I didn't know where we were going. I didn't know where we were going with questions. I was like, okay.